Hey guys, it's me again, making a similar video to the last one. I got a lot of positive feedback on it, and people were saying they enjoyed it. So I think I'm gonna, try and do some more. Give the people what they want. I did get some suggestions in the last video on how to make the videos better. And one of them was to write everything down in a notebook, or just like write it down in general. And I actually did do that. I wrote it down in a notebook. I forgot the notebook at home before I came here, so I'm kind of gonna be freeballing it. But basically in this video, I just wanted to talk about why would you want to ride a motorcycle? Because the last video was kind of more like discouraging people. I think this one's going to be more giving a reason why you would. I think thing number one is going to be just like the feeling of like riding. It's kind of hard to describe, like if you've never ridden before, but it kind of feels like you're flying or something, but you're still on the ground, obviously, but it just feels like you're more free, if that makes sense. It's like once you start getting the hang of it, you want to keep riding. At least for me, like when I got my first motorcycle, I was like addicted to like trying to figure out just like how to ride better. And I feel like once you get to that point, that's when it really starts getting enjoyable, because you start learning just like better ways to drive. You're not like stalling all the time, and it just becomes more enjoyable in general. And then for me, it just got to the point to where like I prefer riding more than I do driving my own car. So I think thing number two is that whenever you're out riding or people see you with the motorcycle, they're more likely to stop and just like have a conversation with you and just like ask about it. And I know in the last video I made a point like, if you're uncool, the motorcycle isn't gonna make you cool. But still, in my experience, like more people have come up to me and like talked to me about the motorcycle than they have, with a car or anything like that. I think the only other thing that like started conversations almost as much as a motorcycle is just gonna be a regular bicycle. Cause I used to actually bicycle to work just because my job was so close, like to my house. I'm going off on a tangent, but my job was so close to my house that I could just ride the bicycle to work, and people would always ask about it. So point number three is, I feel like the motorcycle gear you wear, at least most of it, is just gonna kind of make you look cool. Like if you're wearing the actual proper gear, it kind of, in my opinion, it just kind of looks cool, and then nobody can be like, oh, this guy's a poser, he's wearing a motorcycle jacket and leather boots and he's carrying around a helmet or something. I've never seen that. I've never seen somebody carry around a motorcycle helmet and not have a motorcycle. That would be kind of weird, because I mean, it would be, I would be kind of impressed if somebody went and bought all the, right motorcycle gear and they didn't have a motorcycle, because that stuff is pretty expensive, like even the cheapest helmet. So point number four is gonna be, technically it's cheaper than a car, technically. Like if you just went and got a motorcycle with straight cash and you didn't take out a loan or something, generally it's gonna end up being cheaper than if you got a car. And I mean that obviously because, at most you could fit two people on a motorcycle, and in most cars you're fitting, I mean at least two, but four, if not more than that. But the most expensive motorcycle was probably only gonna run you, an average motorcycle is probably only gonna run you about $20,000 for a brand new one, but you can't get a brand new car these days for 20 grand. So when you think about it, you're kind of saving money. I mean, you're paying more, you're paying for what you get, you're paying for what you get. Another like reason to ride is I just feel like it's easier to customize a motorcycle than it is a car, and it's usually cheaper just because, you know, the parts are smaller. But I just feel like you can put more spirit into a motorcycle than you can with a car. That's just in my opinion. You know, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people out there who's gonna be like, oh, I can customize a car and make it totally my own. But like, for you to like totally change the look of a car, you're spending, you know, thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars just to make the car start looking different than it is stock on the exterior. But like for a motorcycle, you could add a fairing on there for, you know, $500 and it totally changes the look of the bike. And you know, that's just my experience, my opinion. But I mean, like, I feel like no two motorcycles you see that aren't stock are gonna look exactly the same, just because there's so many different, for most motorcycles, there's so many different options when it comes to customization and stuff. And that's just appearance. Like when you get to the actual engine, like there's a lot you can do that just totally changed the way it rides. So another reason to ride, in my opinion, is I just feel like it's more difficult than driving a car. And I think like most people will agree that, you know, it doesn't matter what car it is, you know, riding a motorcycle is always going to be more difficult, because when you're riding a motorcycle, you got to worry about your balance, you got to worry about your lean angle, how fast you're going into a turn. And like, you don't really get a lot of room for error in those things, because if you take a turn too fast, you're going off the road, and, you know, best case scenario, you just mess your bike up. Worst case scenario, you die. So just riding in general, like if you want a challenge, you know, it's good to ride, because I think like most motorcycles are gonna be manual and not automatic like most cars are. At least in America, most cars out here are automatic. You actually have to, you gotta hunt to get an actual manual transmission car. But it's gonna be the opposite for a motorcycle. You gotta hunt to get a fucking automatic motorcycle. Like, I think the only people who make automatic motorcycles is Honda. I could be wrong, you know, there might be more of them, but I know for sure the Rebel and the Goldwing are automatic. And then I know like the smaller motorcycles they have, like the Navi and the Grom, they're automatic. But, you know, if you're getting a bigger motorcycle, you know, I've never heard of an automatic cruiser. I could be wrong, but I've never heard of that. I don't know why that, I mean, I know why it is. It's just because sticking an automatic transmission on a motorcycle is difficult, because you have less room to fit that in there when you compare it to a clutch, which is a clutch and a manual transmission, which is pretty, you know, simple and not that big. Another point is just gonna be, there's like a community to riding a motorcycle. And I feel like compared to like driving a car or something, like you don't get people waving at you in another car just because you're driving a car. But like on a motorcycle, that's a thing. Like if you see another motorcycle rider, you throw the two down. Like 99% of motorcycle riders are gonna do that, and it's just not a thing in a car. Maybe if you have the same car as somebody else, but like, just like every motorcycle you see on the road, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna be happy to see you. They're gonna fucking throw the two down, or they're gonna have some sense of community. And yeah, you know, like, it's just, I've never experienced that. If anything, like other people in cars, they're probably like more like confrontational, but like with motorcycles, I feel like every motorcycle rider kind of looks out for one another. Doesn't matter like what kind of motorcycle it is. Like at least in my experience, like if you see a motorcycle on the side of the road, you're gonna help them out. Or if you're on the side of the road with a motorcycle rider is gonna, you know, stop and make sure you're okay. But that's like in my experience, like with cars, that's not really a thing. Like if you break down on the side of the road, car isn't gonna, you know, a random car, 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna pull over and be like, do you need help or whatever. Like it might happen, but it's gonna be more rare and it might take longer, you know? But just the community in general, especially like Harley riders. Like if you have a Harley and there's like a random dude with a Harley, they're gonna help you out for sure. Yeah, it's just, you know, more of a community compared to cars. Yeah, I mean there is a car community, but I feel like they do more like crazy shit, you know, or they're doing like burnouts at lights and shit, and they're more like chaotic. Not to say that doesn't happen at motorcycle meetups, but I don't think it's as bad. Maybe it's just because less people ride, or I don't know, you know. Well, I think that's gonna conclude the video. If you stuck around this long, you know, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I think I might try and do more videos like this. I'll try not to forget the notebook next time, so it's not as rambly and I got more to like go off of. I'll definitely try and come up with more like actual points that make sense and are interesting. Or if you guys want to see stuff like I don't know, me doing like a tour of a place or something, like riding the motorcycle down somewhere and then like giving you a review of it or something, I feel like that could be kind of cool. I kind of wanted to do something like that. I had an idea where like I would ride out to like a national park or something and maybe like just like record the experience. I feel like that could be kind of interesting, you know. If you guys have any suggestions or you like that idea that I just came up with, feel free to, you know, let me know. I do read the comments, and I appreciate, you know, I appreciate them. I'll try and do my best to reply. Sometimes I just don't know what to, you know, say to what people type out, but I'll do my best. Yeah, you know, I feel like the channel's growing a lot, especially in the past like year or two. I think, you know, my most viewed video is that, I don't know if I said this in the last video, but my most viewed video is an Overwatch video. I think like my top 2 most viewed videos are Overwatch videos, and then I think the second or the third most viewed is like related to the motorcycle. So you know, let me know what you want to see. I do different stuff. You know, if you guys want to see some stuff related to my car or something, you know, let me know. It's nothing crazy. It's not a fucking crazy car. But I don't know. I'm rambling. Anyways, thanks for checking out the video. I appreciate it. Goodbye.